This year, the cereal glass ceiling has been broken.
They finally did it.
They finally did it. We have a female character in a big cereal. Carmella Creeper is here, and she has joined the crew of monsters for Monster Cereal. And I think it'd be a great time to bring her into the Dark Spooniverse and give her her own feature film. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew, and this is Chris.
Why, hello there. Spooky hellos.
Spooky hellos.
The real question is there backstory for this character that we should be aware of?
There's very little backstory. According to the official lore on the back of the box, I think the only thing we have to work with here is she does appear to be some kind of DJ. She does like the music, and she seems to be a cousin of Frankenberry.
Okay.
And that's about it. Somewhat of a Frankenstein monster, but I think kind of more of a zombie, I think what they're going for.
Yeah, it's tricky, because I could go either way with how she's presented. She has the silver streak in her hair, like a Lady Frankenstein, but she doesn't have, like, the bolts. She has green skin, but, like, Frankenstein sometimes has green skin.
Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of up to us, how we want to play that. You know, not every monster from the serial was one-to-one based on a universal monster, because Boo Berry's just a ghost. These are, I guess, they're kind of kids movies, I think we've established. So I don't know if this is like too weird and dark, but I was thinking it'd be kind of interesting if Carmella Creeper, if she is a zombie, I think maybe her story starts waking up undead and trying to remember who she was.
Okay.
All the clues she has, much like all the clues that we have, is that she is dressed as a DJ with headphones. And my thought is that it's sort of a, you know, kind of a quest to find out, you know, where she belongs. And maybe it results in tracking down her only living relative is not actually a living relative, but is in fact Frankenberry.
It's a little dark for a children's movie, but I can get behind she has to solve her own murder.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a kid's movie that would do that. I don't know. Some things are pretty dark, like brainwashing, but they don't play as dark in a kid's movie for some reason. You know, we've had in all of these movies, kids in all these movies.
I mean, I don't think she's a kid, but she looks like a teenager.
I think a teen, and that's why I'm thinking like that teen horror tropes are fair game. Maybe not all of them, because you know you can't go rated R in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, can she be murdered? Like, or how is she resurrected? Maybe we need to think of that first.
All right. You got the camera, right? It's panning over a graveyard. Lightning's flashing in the background. A storm is coming. Camera pans and you get to a tombstone. Shovel enters frame into the dirt. You got two dirt bags.
Okay.
All right, man. I did my research. All right. This is it. This person right here, related to that Frankenberry guy. Like, we're gonna be rich, man. Who knows what we can sell this stuff for? All right, man. All right. You better be right about this. When they start digging. Lightning strikes the shovel handle.
So that's it. That's
just... I'm going with a Friday the 13th parts. What is this, part 6 is when he gets struck by lightning to come back from the dead?
What if it's like some teens playing like Ouija in a graveyard or something?
Okay, all right.
And it's the magic of the Ouija that brings her to life. That maybe there is that town lore that, oh, this person is a distant relative to that famous Frankenberry.
All right.
Because I guess this takes place after they save the world.
Yeah, like
now they're all famous.
They're famous. I just I'm trying to find an angle for her. Like, how does she figure out that she has a connection to this person so her journey can start?
Well, I think if we open that way, we've got to solve the mystery immediately, haven't we? Because I figured that would be the end. That's how I was thinking. Okay. In the end, she realizes, oh, here's my family or whatever, or whatever. You know,
and that's like a lead-in for future movies. It's like she realizes she's related to this person, and this whole team is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's dressed in her DJ clothes. She's like, if she is from the grave, she was buried with the headphones.
Yeah.
That's her clue. But I don't know. I think if she's like dead and buried, like her tombstone has a lot of information. I was thinking like, and this is not probably great for a kid's movie, but I just like figured she wakes up in like some alley, like she died somehow.
Okay.
Like maybe that is a bit more sinister, isn't it? Like maybe like that implies like a drug overdose or like a robbery or you know, like gone wrong, or Or
Yeah, I feel like alleyway has bad connotations.
Yeah.
There's no, like, whoops, haha with an alleyway. There's drugs or murder.
maybe like
washing up on a beach.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
like, for some reason, drowning isn't so bad in a kids' movie. That happens a lot.
Yeah, like, the ocean's a big, scary thing, and we don't have to dwell on it.
Oh,
She could have been a boat DJ.
I kind of like, yeah. I kind of like that because there's that, like, kind of annoying movie trope that if you fall asleep while you're drowning, you'll be fine.
You'll just wake up fine, yeah.
So I think we can play with that, where she wakes up on a beach, and it's like, whoa, that was like, what happened? I don't remember anything. You know, maybe like she impales herself, like actually trips and she impales herself through her chest, and she's like, huh, that didn't hurt. And it's like, am I dead?
Yeah.
You know, like something like that. Maybe she was a DJ on some party boat or whatever.
I guess setting will be important. We want it to be like off the coast of New Jersey, where there's gonna be a lot of people, or maybe like a sleepy New England town somewhere. But that could be like the fun juxtaposition. Like, she has the instincts of a hip city DJ,
Yeah.
sleepy New England town. Undead Footloose could happen here.
Undead Footloose, that's interesting. I think she could pass for living. You know, she's a little green, but she can wear like a makeup to cover that up or something.
To give us a little bit more direction, like maybe the people that find her are like maybe some misfit kids. You know, they're not fitting in school. It's like really like Puritan kind of town.
She's like the new girl.
She's the new girl. She's trying to find herself, and like by extension, these kids are trying to find themselves. Yeah,
maybe that's it. The A plot is who am I, and as she's figuring out who she is, she's kind of like learning about this town and like the new friends she's making. That beat that lowest point before Act 3. I think that's when she finds out how she died. You know, that's when she solves the mystery, and maybe it's something a little more sinister than she had hoped, or whatever. Like,
yeah, like someone in this town, like in a bid for getting like political leverage, may have like caused a little disaster on a cruise ship.
How is she a zombie?
Now we do need to figure that
Maybe
out.
there's a talisman. Maybe the headphones are some sort of talisman. Maybe there is a magic spell that is in the headphones.
Okay.
Like, it's a song that has like a magic power to it. And because she died listening to the song, it resurrected her.
During the cruise, like, she was doing some like old vinyls, you know, to get some mixes together.
Yeah.
And one of those was kind of a Evil Dead-esque recording.
Yeah, right. What we really need to get is, how does she track this mystery back around? You know, maybe the first thing that her friends, you know, is like, oh, well, you look like a DJ. Maybe they go looking for like local DJs or something. And I mean, if you're watching them at a beach, maybe you look for like wreckages or whatever. Like, after, you know, well, we can't look at that now. You've got to fit in at school, you know, otherwise they'll figure you out, you know. So you cut back and forth between that, and, you know, she's making friends or whatever, and she's weird, and maybe she's got like some undead powers. Just like, you know,
these fun stuff.
Yeah, like funny things, like she could take her hand off or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
play a little jokes, pranks.
Yeah.
Have people have fun.
Maybe it's not obvious she's a DJ. Maybe it's like all of a sudden she finds out she's very good at DJing. Maybe she's invited to a party.
Yeah.
And maybe like everyone thinks she's a weirdo, but then she's like gets a hold of the DJ, you know, equipment or whatever, and she's like really making this party. And that's when it's like, hey, you really have a knack for this. Like, yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, maybe you were a DJ.
And so that's when they start looking for the DJ stuff. You know,
and at the same time, prom's coming up. Someone's gonna have to make this a fun prom, because right now it's looking pretty dire.
Yeah, I like that. Prom is a very good Act 3.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be it. Prom is Act 3. That's
and
perfect.
Maybe our villain is the principal of the school, but he has senatorial aspirations, and he's trying to get his name out there. He's running.
That's pretty good. I think another thing, how do we get her name?
Carmella.
And also, that's another thing. She is caramel sour apple there. That's her flavor. That's got to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that should also be a clue. Like, just because it's, you know, it's like Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're doing it for her name, but if it's that significant to her personality, it has to be a clue.
Yeah.
This is a little bit much for a kid's movie, but I think like something like she takes a bite of a caramel apple and she's like, I remember this. This is important. And it turns out like she was like murdered while eating an apple. It was like the last taste she had. So I don't feel like we should do that, but like maybe that sparks something, you know, maybe that's something, it's like it's one of the last things she remembers from being alive,
Yeah.
and that's significant to her. But maybe she has nothing in her pockets but one caramel apple.
Okay,
And
all right.
and maybe
That's their first clue.
That's her first clue.
Okay.
And maybe it's got like bite marks in it or something.
I mean, it could be as simple as the cruise was like kind of themed around caramel apples. Everyone got one at the party,
Yeah.
and like our villain can see that at some point and clearly be like, just like that could be their hints. Like, wait, does he know something?
Or if it's like stuck to her hand. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it
She was grasping it.
Yeah,
the whole time.
she was grasping like like that was the last thing she pulled off the boat when she fell off.
She grabbed it off of the villain.
So wait, he was on this boat and pushed her off the boat?
I
like,
think
what are we
he
doing
wasn't
here?
looking to push her necessarily.
Yeah.
He was there to like.
I just feel like washing up on the beach is like a good way to start. It's the least gruesome way to wake up dead.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been like a pier party. Like maybe
Maybe.
it was like a spring breaky kind of thing.
Maybe and maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're looking for a boat this whole time, but they didn't even go that far.
Yeah. It was just on a pier, like down the coast.
Would they know her from town or no? She like
Down the coast.
So maybe they need to like see now this is like bringing up all sorts of
Logistical questions.
Yeah, because like if she's from the next town over, like her parents are probably looking for her.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Whoa, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. I think it's a little bit of a reshuffling, but I think this could solve some kids movie murder problems.
Okay.
Like poison apple. Okay.
All right, yeah.
A poison apple will kill you, but through magic you can come back. In this case, maybe it's the magic of caramel.
Ah, the delicious caramel.
You know, maybe the spirit of Halloween.
I think I got this.
Okay.
All right. Screw prom.
Okay, prom's out.
This is anti-Halloween.
Anti-Halloween.
Poisoned caramel apple candy. Someone wanted to like, we can't have Halloween in this town. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Poison a few pieces of candy. No one's gonna want trick-or-treaters.
Yeah. So what happened is like someone, maybe it's the principal or whatever, is looking to end Halloween and then kind of like does the poison apple thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, this town has been anti-Halloween because like, you know, we don't want that to happen again.
It's the unsalem.
Yeah. And maybe like then it turns into a whole thing. At first it started off like parents being concerned, don't go trick-or-treating. Then it turns into like, you know, like the anti-Salem or perhaps Salem.
Old Salem.
The original Salem.
Yeah.
But like everyone in town, it's like, you know, and maybe it's been a few years. Like maybe it's been like 10 years. Like, I don't know. Like, I like she's probably magical. Like maybe it's not poison. Like they put like anthrax in it or something. Maybe it's like magic poison. You know, maybe this was like a cursed apple.
I mean, we could go back to like the Ouija board, does it? Or like lightning strikes a grave.
I think it should be a magical death. That way, her coming back is just explained away by the death being magical. And I think a poison apple or a cursed apple, you know, I think kind of plays into that nicely. She's a, I mean, I'm thinking like maybe there's like a witch in town or something. Like, I don't know. Like maybe and she's like, you know, I don't know. For some reason, like this Snow White aspect has got me thinking of like,
if we want a primary human character to be involved, and we want a witch, maybe it's a younger witch who's just very lonely, goes out to like a graveyard, wants to be friends with a ghost, has a Ouija board, but gets more than she bargained for when a hand bursts out of the soil.
She comes back because someone has fulfilled the spirit of Halloween. Only a child with the pure spirit of Halloween. Maybe that's it. Years later, this girl died, and the town has never done Halloween again, and that's not what she would have wanted, but that's what happened. And the one kid with the purity of Halloween, the one keeping it alive, and is a weirdo because all the other kids hate Halloween.
He gets like eggs thrown at him when he goes to a house to trick or treat,
and he's the only one with the pure spirit of Halloween, and he's the one who breaks the spell.
He goes to a graveyard to have his own little Halloween party covered in eggs. He takes a bite out of a caramel apple.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The crunch of it
Echoes
down into the grave.
Look, I'm thinking, what if she died like 20 years ago? Maybe it was like like the early 2000s, and the myth of like, the poison candy, she's the one who actually happened to her, and that's when everyone's like, whoa, we have hard evidence now. This is a thing. We're not doing Halloween anymore in this town.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years. Like, full generations of kids have come and gone without any Halloween. But there's one kid, maybe he watches like the shows or
I mean, he could be new to town. Maybe his parents moved there
maybe
for work.
yeah.
They feel bad that he can't have Halloween, so they don't like punish
Halloween
him
in this town. Yeah, the town without Halloween. And maybe when she comes back through the crunch of a caramel apple, the true spirit of Halloween. Now it's like, maybe she knows. Maybe she hasn't lost her memory. Maybe she knows, and she's like, she wasn't. That it wasn't like a trick or treat random attack.
Yeah.
Like, she knows this person, but maybe her memory's a little foggy. Like,
yeah. I feel like going with foggy memory, but like she knows who she is fine.
Yeah,
We are back to wants to solve her own murder, but that's okay.
Yeah, I guess so. But because it's a magic murder, I think it's okay.
And the focus again is going to be more on, we got to bring Halloween back to this town.
Yeah.
We got to bring music and fun and trick or treating
because
back.
that's what she would have wanted.
Yeah,
like everyone kind of forgets that part, and I think Carmella Creeper was her DJ name, and she remembers that. I think
she loved Halloween.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah.
She's bringing Halloween back, much like the true cereal did.
Yes.
I think that's good. Look, you've got chocolate and blueberry and strawberry. These are not Halloween flavors. Carmella Creeper is caramel apple. That's Halloween. She's got to be the most Halloween out of all these guys. It's a town that hates Halloween because a girl died. But she comes back, and it was like, I was set up. Well, she finds out she was set up. Like, this was like a calculated attack because she was such a rowdy partier. Like, she just like loved Halloween so much.
She was the face of Halloween.
She was the face of Halloween back in her day. Like, and maybe that's like they find a yearbook or something, and maybe there are pages missing from the yearbook. Like, that kind of stuff. And then they have to go onto like the early 2000s internet and like internet sleuthing on these old websites.
Asking like parents and teachers questions, and they're hushy about it. But
yeah, like a lot of information's missing. And I guess if we're going with the principal has sort of, seen to that the information's, missing. And the only person who would be able to solve it would be the person who was murdered by the magical apple.
Yeah. Like, she can remember she loves Halloween. Her name is on the tombstone.
Yeah.
She remembers her stage name. But she can't quite remember what happened that one Halloween night when she died.
Yeah.
It's been long enough that the adults remember, but they're not talking. The kids don't know what's going on. They just know they have movies and the internet. They know Halloween's cool and they want it. But the parents won't let it happen.
Yeah.
And that gets us rolling.
I think the one thing that we still haven't quite figured out is the origin of this magic apple, and why does this person who hates Halloween use it against her?
What if the magic came from her? Maybe she was making a very cool magic apple to make the perfect Halloween.
It sounds like
someone poisoned the apple. That way it's her magic that brings her back.
Maybe she thought she messed it up and killed herself, but someone was screwing with it.
Yeah. The spell she cast on the apples at the party was a protection spell.
So it is a real poison apple. The apples have been poisoned with real poison, but the protection spell stops her from truly dying. In the 2000s, in a sleepy New England town, there's a town that does Halloween pretty big. Maybe it's
the biggest Halloween party on the East Coast.
It's like Salem. It's like Sleepy Hollow. It's like one more town that's like that. And there's a group of people who kind of don't like this blot on their town.
They want a more organized, orderly town.
And so they do something pretty sinister.
Yeah.
And so she ends up putting up protective charms secretly on the apples. She eats one. She drops dead like a snow white, nothing too gruesome.
Yeah.
But she warns everyone before, and they're like, see, and now there's no Halloween in this town. It drops off real fast.
They could have been making threats to her, and that's why she put the charm on the apple. Gives us a reason for it. It's not a surprise to her, almost.
Yeah, and so then this kid moves to town, like 25 years later. He is, like, big on Halloween, like the town used to be. He doesn't know this yet, and then, you know, he goes and has a little Halloween at a graveyard, and he bites the apple, the echoing, like, the true spirit of Halloween. She comes back to life. He's obviously, I feel, terrified at first because there's a zombie.
He'll run away, trip. She'll help him up.
Yeah, and she's cool, and maybe she doesn't realize that she's a zombie. It's just sort of like, what happened here? And it's like, what year is this? Like, what? Oh no, I must have died. You know, and she catches on pretty quick. I feel like she looks a little grody.
What day is it? Oh, it's October 25th. Where are the decorations?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't do Halloween here. What?
Yeah.
This is the Halloween capital.
And,
what are you talking about?
And so she comes back and tries to bring Halloween back to town. And I guess, like, the first half of the movie is trying to get some people on board. And I guess at the midpoint, she DJs a party and people are like, oh, yeah.
It's fun, but, like, it's broken up.
Yeah, and now the parents are worried. You know, maybe this is almost like a Freddy Krueger kind of thing, where it's like, we put a stop to this.
I thought we had put this behind us.
This is pretty dark. These parents got together and murdered a child.
Maybe, like, not all the parents, but, like,
just one of them. Like, they wanted to put a stop to it. They didn't want it like this. Yeah. One of them took it too far.
I don't know why, but, like, the principal is like, I want him to be the villain.
Sure, yeah.
Or the mayor.
You know, she starts bringing the Halloween back, and people are into it, and then there's, like, maybe, like, prom, and they want to do, like, a spooky prom.
Halloween prom for some reason.
It's not prom, it's the fall dance.
Yeah.
There you go. It's the fall dance.
The fall formal.
Yeah, the fall formal, and it's all like scarecrows, like cute scarecrows and haystacks, and
it's too formal.
Yeah, there's no Halloween. There's fall, but there's no Halloween. Maybe vegetables and gourds and stuff. Maybe there's like a scene where she shows the kids how to carve a face into a pumpkin, and everyone's minds are blown.
Good.
And then maybe like the absolute villainous mayor / principal, whatever, it's like, you didn't learn the last time. And like there's like I don't know, like
to kill you again,
a fight on the roof so he can fall off of it. And
I mean, it doesn't even I want him to die, but like it could just be the parents turn on him and he gets arrested.
He could just get arrested, or a building can fall on him or something.
Like justice. It could,
it
turns into a court procedural.
Yeah.
Court procedural.
Yeah, he can get arrested. The mystery solved. The parents, maybe one of the parents who knows what happened has been keeping a secret this whole time and was afraid to come forward because then they'd be implicated in it.
They have a tearful like apology scene.
Yeah.
And then the town
they were friends or something.
Yeah. I was friends with your mother.
And Carmella doesn't recognize because this person is older and maybe her name's changing. You know,
she remarried.
And so this whole time, you know, like the older, you know, woman who has been aging this whole time knows who Carmella Creeper is, and is maybe like, I mean, obviously we've got a zombie here, you know. Maybe at that point she has like disguise makeup, and it's like, you know, hey kids, who's your friend? You know, she's like, do you know who her mom is? Like, you know, recognizing like, you look a lot like the girl who died. You know, what if the cold open is that night, and it is filmed, it is presented in a way that really does seem very straightforward. Like, we the viewers are kind of believing the lie, because it really does seem like that. You know, she eats an apple, she dies, someone's poisoned an apple. Maybe even the principal who did it finds this and seems very concerned. You know, he you know, the acting is very believable. You know, and we're watching this movie and think, oh man, this you know, this is what a tragedy, or something like that.
And then we have that scene again in Act 3, but we see a little sly smile on his face. We see him slipping the poison in there. The years are passing with like newspaper articles. Halloween canceled.
You're right.
Teens arrested for trick or treating. Like
that's
really
good,
like
good.
We get the credits coming up while we also establish what changed.
Yeah, the very beginning is sort of the story that people have been told. The transition from the town for being like the best Halloween town to no Halloween,
Exactly.
anti-Halloween. The kid who's new in town moves in. He's an outcast. He doesn't have a very good time. He makes his own fun Halloween.
He's complaining in school, like, why is there no Halloween, blah, 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 blah. You want to celebrate Halloween? Go to the graveyard, because it's dead and buried.
Yeah.
And that's like he actually goes.
I like that, yeah. And maybe whoever said that was giving him a clue. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the old janitor, and like he was like a friend to Carmella Creeper.
Yeah. And so he plays some music because I feel like that's a big aspect for her. That's her one canonical defining character trait is that she likes music.
Yeah.
So I think a spooky song, Caramel Apple together kind of wakes her up. She doesn't maybe remember why she's alive, we learn that.
Yeah.
But so now he's got a new friend. The only friend he's got, maybe she's just kind of cool. Because if he's the uncool guy, she's got to be the cool one.
And she'll maybe like think, maybe I'm back because of you, and you want to bring Halloween back. I used to love Halloween.
Yeah.
They start their little mission.
And slowly the kids, they are starting to learn the fun of Halloween. And maybe by the midpoint of the movie, even the most stickler kid is now part of it.
Yeah.
And now the adults have found out. What's all this then?
But they got the janitor on their side.
Yeah.
And he could be the one that's kind of like guiding them in certain directions.
And now he's giving them little hints, and she's solving her own murder. And eventually she finds out exactly what happened. She did the spell, and it saved. That's why she was able to come back. And it was the principal who did it, or maybe
the former principal, now mayor.
Maybe I think because like this is kind of how mysteries work. It's they think it's like the janitor or something. And then
fake out,
and then in Act 3. There's like the mayor / principal's like, oh, do you really not know who killed you? The big reveal.
We work our way up to bringing Halloween back, basically. Like the principal / mayor tries to stop it, the parents try and stop it, but eventually the children win. The parents realize it's harmless fun. They used to like it themselves. A couple of people that were involved with the principal, like, feeling bad about it ever since, and maybe she goes to confront the mayor all on her lonesome, and that's where we get our big villain turn from him.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it? You're one kid,
and you're dead.
And
I killed you once.
I could kill you again.
He's like she's a literal skeleton in his closet,
And then when
it's like, I will not let you jeopardize this town. I'm too important.
This is my town. I shaped it in my image. And just when everything's looking its darkest, you get a ding dong, and the whole town says trick or treat at once. They're all outside.
Yeah, that's good.
They storm in there in hog time and put an apple in his mouth. We've already called the feds. I think we have the police take the mayor out of his mansion, and it's like there's a party in the mansion. It's a Halloween party. People are in costumes or candy. She's DJing.
Yeah.
Like where the mayor was having his like villain speech on a balcony is now like the DJ perch. And like the janitor comes up to her and she's like, I'm happy, I am. We brought Halloween back, but I don't have any family. Like I don't have anyone left.
Yeah.
And that's when the janitor says, well, that's not entirely true, and like slides a picture of Frankenberry across the DJ. Lets it spin on one of the records around her. You do have some family, kid.
That's the tag at the
end. Yeah.
What happened to her family? This is 25 years ago. Did they all die?
We could just have like, a throwaway line at some point where it's like, don't you want to go see your family? It's like, I was raised by my grandma and she was pretty old.
Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Yeah.
Some say she was a witch.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Like, even if it doesn't go anywhere in this movie, like, that's how she learned how to do the little thing.
Exactly.
And, like, it could be important for later movies.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah. So she's gone, and now she's got no family, but maybe she does.
Yeah.
Maybe General Mills shows up.
General Mills shows up. Your grandma wanted to keep this a secret, but seeing how things have changed, here's your uncle. Your great uncle.
Yeah. I think villains can do murder, or at least attempt to, in children's movies. I mean, all dogs go to heaven.
Oh yeah.
But he comes back. That's the trick. You can murder as long as they can come back.
Unless you're a mother in a Disney movie.
Yeah, but it has to be off camera.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you've got any other ideas for screen to screen, maybe we'll do another one of these someday.
Yeah. Give us more ideas for screen to screen. And of course, scream to scream.
That's true. It is a bit of a scream to scream this time.
This is a Halloween episode, even if it comes out a few days after Halloween, depending on your editing schedule.
Yeah, have a good fall, everyone.
Yeah, but go and eat a nice caramel apple.
Yeah, yes, enjoy a caramel apple, if you dare.
If you dare. Lightning strike.